Hello and welcome to the LineStar On Deck podcast. I am your host, Tyler Wiemann. Unfortunately, Shannon Somerville is out. She decided to go have some fun for a little long weekend, so you are stuck with me. You will be missing the normal banter as her and I have come to engage on this platform. Anyways, let's start off. Let's get right into it. I wanted to start by reminding everybody once again that we will be raising our prices. Football season is 47 days away, and on that date, we will be going up in price. So lock in now, subscribe now, and make it happen. Once again, guys, thank you for joining us. Like the video, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. It goes a really long way of helping Shannon and I out, as well as the platform here we're trying to build and make more and more podcasts for you, more content. The more exposure we're getting, the more views, it all helps us create more at the end for you guys. Anyways, let's dive right into the weather on this MLB slate. Now, there isn't really much we should worry about. There are some very warm temperatures out there that will help bats quite a bit, though. It's over 90 degrees in Baltimore. We have winds blowing out there, mid 80s in Pittsburgh, and there is a slight chance of delay here, but nothing really to worry about. Chicago Cubs in Philadelphia, we have over 90 degree temperatures, winds blowing out. Toronto at Boston, again, 90 degrees. Winds are blowing out to center, 5 to 10 miles an hour. We have the Padres versus the Mets in New York. Now, do pay attention to this one. There are a few quick-moving storms that could cause some trouble here, but we do have some high-exposed pitchers here, with Scherzer being our highest-owned pitcher of the day. So a possible delay could hurt him. It is not likely, but just pay attention when it gets a little closer to lock. Atlanta, we have the normal scattered showers, always a chance of delay, but not likely once again. And Tampa Bay Rays at Kansas City Royals. This is by far the hottest day of the spot on the day. It'll be over 100 degrees at first pitch. The winds are blowing out to left. It is great hitting weather. The ball should fly there. And lastly, Cleveland at the White Sox. Nothing more than a spotty shower here and there. It's going to be very light rain. It should not cause any issues. It'll be light enough to play through, so don't worry about that too much. Now we will get into the show. And we'll go straight into the high-owned pitchers here. Now, if you can see, we have Mad Max Scherzer coming in, the highest-owned guy, at 43%. Now, this is against my San Diego Padres, which is very unfortunate, but Max looks absolutely great. As you can see, he has had a great run. He's been getting deep into games and doing very well with some strikeout numbers. Now he's facing a Padre team that has been striking out a bit and really hasn't done much versus Mad Max. So in 155 plate attempts, they're hitting only 196 and striking out almost 30%. Now we have the combined K rate at 26.6%, but obviously history has said that Max has outperformed that number quite a bit. So do keep that in mind. We do have some umpire notes here, which it is unfortunately not quite as good for Scherzer here. However, wouldn't really worry about that. It is Mad Max. He is a beast. The one thing you do have to look that could cause a little bit of concern is this year the Padres have been able to get to Max twice. So in the first time they faced last year, when I said this year, last year the Padres got to him with 7 runs. And then the last time they faced, the Padres got to him with 5 runs. So the Padres have done all right versus him, But as that number said, has not done great overall. So I do like Scherzer here. I would not fade him just because of ownership. The Padres have struggled a little bit and can strike out. So roll with Scherzer if you like. The next highest owned guy is Corbin Burns. He's at 42% for a lot of good reasons here. Corbin is hitting, or Colorado is hitting only 170 versus him in 29 at-bats. And they have a measly 134 ISO versus righties. So you have to like Corbin versus this anemic offense versus righties. Again, this offense is not good as good away as it is at home. So do remember that they also are worse versus righties. Corbin is in a great spot. And the total BVP numbers, we've gone over this before, but let's do it again. These alert numbers are usually only after the last 3 years, and this is kind of a larger sample size. So as you can see, in the last 50 plate attempts, they're only hitting 200 versus him, and has a crazy 34% strikeout number, which is obviously much higher than this 26.5, and this is why a lot of people are going to Burns today. Burns has also been great lately. Last 5 starts, 2.62 FIP and almost a 34% strikeout rate. So Burns makes a lot of sense. And lastly, we have Charlie Morton, who is coming in pretty high owned against an anemic Angels offense, where if you took Ohtani and Trout out, they would be awful. Now, the Angels lineup is showing a 30.8% K rate versus righties, which is off the charts high. And the Angels have a under 300 WOBA, which is not very good. And with all that being said, we also have Morton, who has been very good over his last 5-10 starts or so, with a 31% K rate. FIP is a little higher than I would like with his salary at 4.25, but it's okay. There is a ton of strike K upside here, and the StatCast data is a little worrisome. Now, almost 40% fly balls. We have 33.8% hard contact, which is a very high hard contact rate. And then the other scary thing is Morton has been bottom 5% in barreled balls with 9 over the last month. Now, that is just telling us that guys are putting the barrel on the ball versus him. When that happens, the ball flies a little faster, goes a little farther, and you have a guy like Ohtani who leads leagues in barrel percentage. So he is a worry today. If Morton can get around him and Trout, looks like a good night for him. Now, if we go into that BVP numbers, there is a crazy 48% K rate here. Now, that is only over 27 plate attempts, so take it with a grain of salt. That is a very small sample size, but it shows you the upside of Morton, and Morton has a 32% combined K rate, which is higher than Scherzer and Burns, which is showing why so many people are going to him. Now let's go into our low-owned pitchers that I like a little bit. And my guy, Shohei Ohtani, is at the top of that charts. Now he is a little bit less owned. As you can see here, he was 18.7% owned. Now, Shohei has been absolutely crushing it over the last 5 games. As you can see here, he is averaging 36 DraftKings points over his last 5 with a crazy 42% K rate. Now, you would say, yeah, it's probably bad offenses, right? Nope. Houston, Miami, who's actually good versus righties. The White Sox were actually healthy then, which hasn't happened much the last couple years. KC, meh. And Seattle, we know they can put together some hits. So he has faced good lineups and still been this great. Atlanta has been a strikeout machine lately. So the one thing here, the worrying thing, is they are a good offense. We do have it at a 1-star alert rating, so there is plenty of risk here. But I like the upside with Shohei on a lower ownership with a 32.7% combined K rate, which is higher than all three of the other guys we talked about. Next, let's talk about Lucas Giolito. I think his salary is still a little bit too low. His ownership is definitely too low. He is facing the Guardians, who only gives up 17.7% K rate, but Giolito has been really good. He has a solid K rate, and the thing that I would like to bring up here is a 3.25 FIP over his last 5 starts. So that is telling you his ERA of 4.5 over those same starts, probably a little bit inflated. He may have been getting a little unlucky, but his strikeout upside is there. He can strike out batters. He is super cheap, so I do like going there. The other one that I really like, who is much less owned, we have him at 2%, is Braxton Garrett. Now, Garrett has been really good the last 5 games or so. As you can see here, his last 5 starts, he has a super low 2.83 FIP with a 26.3% K rate. His StatCast data looks pretty good. And he's facing that anemic Pittsburgh Pirate offense that is almost striking out 25% versus lefties. They also have under a 300 WOBA like the Angels. And Garrett has done very well against them. He did face them last time out went 6 innings with 11 Ks in no earned runs. Do I expect that game again? No. Do I expect a good game? Yes. He does have a combined K rate at 27%. Now that K rate is up there with Scherzer and Burns, but yet he's coming in almost $3,000 cheaper on DraftKings. So I do like that. Not sure if I'd go with him on FanDuel, but let's flip over to FanDuel just to kind of show you the ownerships on those same guys here. Now, Scherzer is coming in at 32.4%, the highest owned on FanDuel. Morton, 31.3%, and Burns at 22%. So it is the same 3 high-owned guys on both sites. And we have Ohtani coming in at 3%. Now, he is much more expensive here on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings, so I get the lower ownership. But you got to like the ability and that high upside he has at such low ownership. And as we talked about before, we can just scroll down. Braxton, again, 2% here. And Giolito, also 2%. So now let's go into our high-owned stacks for the day. We'll start off here on good old FanDuel. Show that one off first. And while it waits, this is a good time to remember, please like, comment, subscribe to our videos. We are trying to grow the channel, and it helps Shannon and I out tremendously if you do. So please do that. Now, we are going with the high-owned stacks here. Let me flip this. So on FanDuel, we have the highest owned being the Yankees and Arizona. And that is going to be much different on DraftKings, where DraftKings Arizona will still be there. And again, this is for a 4-man stack for FanDuel, 5-man stack for DraftKings. DraftKings, we have Arizona being the highest by quite a large margin, and then Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the other team that I thought would pop up here on DraftKings. Now, on DK, I think Yankees are going underweight, and I do really like them. So we'll talk about them in a minute. Now, we will switch over here to our good old trusty daily matchup tool. We're going to click the pitchers so we can kind of dive into these matchups a little bit more. And Where's Steele here? Because we want to talk about the Phillies. There's Steele. So, Phillies, highest owned DraftKings stack. They're going against Justin Steele, who he has actually been decent lately. We do have warm weather in Philly, so the ball could fly a little bit, but 3.9 FIP over the last 20, not too bad. His StatCast data is really good. The one problem thing is, it's only 10 plate attempts, so I wouldn't really think about it, but Phillies did get to him in 10 plate attempts with a 400 average. Vegas run total of 4.7, and that's really the reason why everybody is here. Me personally, I think Steele's a little bit better pitcher than the field does. I wouldn't be all about Phillies, but I understand if people do want to go there. Now, Arizona is coming in at the highest owned stack, and that is all about Patrick Corbin. Now, Arizona is coming in high at both FanDuel and DraftKings, so we probably need to dive into Corbin a little bit. Corbin has been DFSers' favorite punching bag all year round, and it's probably not going to stop tonight. Now, personally, for me, when I see a meh offense that is high owned, I like to go somewhere else. A Hall of Fame hitter's, batting average is like 300. So even in a good spot, you can't expect all of these guys to just totally go nuts. And I will say the percentages kind of go in the way that they probably will not, even though it looks like they are in a great spot, and they are. Corbin, 4.6 FIP over the last 20, 4.3 over the last 5. His StatCast data is bad, almost 38% hard contact, almost 28% line balls, 38% ground balls, but only 34% fly balls, and he has a ton of barreled balls. He is bottom 10% in barreled balls. And Arizona has been hitting lefties pretty well, and they have a 322 WOBA, which is it's okay. The 170 ISO, much above the 140 league average ISO. So I understand why people are going there, and BVP numbers, not much to talk about there, but we do have a 4.6 implied run total, which is another reason why everybody wants to go with Arizona. So let's dive into the Yankees here. So Tyler Wells, we talked about the Tyler bump on other shows. I don't know if he's going to get it today. I think he's going to have a rough day here against these Yankees, who have a team ISO of 190 versus righties, a WOBA of 336. The one thing, though, is the Yankees have not done well against Wells in the past. 161 average in 58 plate attempts. However, Vegas does have a run total of 4.8 for the Yankees, and that's a big reason why people are going here. Not to mention, the weather in Baltimore is warm. The winds are blowing out. So there is a lot to like about this offense. Also, his StatCast data, almost 46% fly balls. That number is way too high, especially when you're facing a team with so much power like the Yankees. Stanton or Judge can hit a pop-up that ends up going out of the ballpark. So fly balls are way too hard. He also is allowing a decent amount of hard contact. The one thing I would bring up, though, is he's been a decent pitcher lately. In the last 5 starts, only a 3.58 FIP, 2.8 ERA. Yankees can absolutely get to him. I do like him today. They would be one of my low-owned stacks on DraftKings. They are a high-owned stacks on FanDuel, so just keep that in mind. Now, another low-owned stack I like here is the Houston Astros against Marco Gonzalez. Marco Gonzalez is a weird pitcher. He always has a much lower ERA than his FIP. I don't know how he gets away with it, but he continually does over and over and over again. But the story is Houston has got to him. 275 average in 171 plate attempts, 4 home runs, fairly high ISO, and it is a Houston offense that is very good. And they have got to him couple times throughout the last few years, as you can see here. So I do like Houston. And another offense that I think is very interesting is the Toronto Blue Jays. Evaldi is a very good pitcher, but he allows a lot of home runs, and we have some good BVP here. Evaldi is allowing Toronto to hit 267 off him, 5 home runs, and 108 plate attempts. It's almost 5% home runs per plate attempt, which is a pretty high number, especially when it's this good of a pitcher. And the StatCast data is really why. He does give up a ton of hard contact, 43%. It is only 14% fly balls and 28% line drives, but when a guy gets hold of one against him, they really get a hold of it. I would not be surprised if Evaldi gives up a home run or two, and it all depends if guys are on the bases to how he does. He is a good pitcher. I wouldn't go crazy with the Blue Jays stack, but having a stack of 2 or 3 does look great to me. And lastly, we will dive into the sleepers for DraftKings and FanDuel. So we'll go to the projection page here, bring up the value. Oh, my boy Tapia is number 1, 4.9 X value, 2K salary on DraftKings. He is a Blue Jay. I already said I like the Blue Jays stack a little bit. So here's the reason why. 1, hitter-friendly park. Versus lefties, the Red Sox bullpen is not great. It is a point we've all been picking on. And as you can see, when he has started lately, he's done very well. As Shannon has talked about many times, the purple is our projected score. The blue is what he actually did. So he has outperformed what he has been doing lately. He has been very hot and in a good spot here. He does have a five-star alert score and a very high leverage score. This is because they're a low-owned stack here. So 2% owned for him on DraftKings. Now let's flip to good old FanDuel and see what the value brings our way here. It is Austin Slater. Now, Austin Slater does have a tough matchup. Tyler Anderson has been very good, but Slater has just been on fire. This guy is hitting 540 over the last week, 390 over the last month, and we have a 4-star alert rating on him. He's a top 10% hitter versus left-handed pitchers. He has not fared well versus Anderson in the past, but I think that could change tonight as Slater has been great recently, and I would expect that to continue today. And now let us get to your favorite part of the show. We will do the home run calls. Now come play along with us on Twitter at LineStar app. Retweet and let us know who you are tailing with your home run pick. Get it right, and you could win free LineStar subscription or $25. Now, my home run pick today is good old Julio Rodriguez. He absolutely crushed it in the home run derby, and I expect him to keep that going today. Now, So, we're going to go to the old ISO here. And we are going down to Urquidy here. So Julio Rodriguez versus Urquidy. As you can see, 9 plate attempts. He is hitting 500 off him. He has yet to hit a home run, but he does have a high 500 WOBA. And the reason I do like him, though, is 222 ISO versus righties for Urquidy, as well as a 195 ISO for Rodriguez versus righties. So it is a righty versus righty matchup, but I really do think that Julio Rodriguez, coming off that great home run derby, is going to lock in and show us what he can do and continues to do. The guy has been hot for over a month, 7 home runs over the last month, and I think he's going to hit another tonight. So the other thing we got here is the good old prop contest. Now, Eli is stepping in for Shannon today, and he's going with Mike Yastrzemski for over 0.5 hits. Now, that is against Tyler Anderson. He loves the matchup, and Yastrzemski is a great value here on Underdog. I, however, am going with Kyle Lewis. So once again, I'm picking on your Urquidy. I want Kyle Lewis over 0.5 hits. If he is not in the lineup, I do expect him to be. I will tweet out something else or put it on YouTube. So we will keep the bet going. But I want over 0.5 hits. The value is just way too good. Most sports books have it at like minus 150 for 0.5. We can get it at plus money or on even value on Underdog. So we're going with that. Now play along with us on our props. All you have to do is hit the like button on YouTube, subscribe, and comment below. If both of us hit our prop, you're going to win $60. Essentially, we are eating our own food here. We're taking $20. We're putting it on the 2 props. We're paying out the winners to whoever win here. And lastly, click the Underdog link below. If you are a new customer to Underdog, by signing up with them through our link and depositing $10, you get 3 months of free LineStar. It's a great deal. Best deal in the business here. They also will match your money up to $100 with whatever you deposit. Just make sure you deposit at least $10 to get our promo code. Now, that will do it for us today. I appreciate you hanging out with me here today. Try to make it a short one. And I will be back again on Monday, again without Shannon, but at least it won't be my first time doing the solo pod. Anyways, guys, please like, comment, subscribe. Tell us how we're doing. Tell us what you think about the props. And we will be back on Monday. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Bye.